That's right. Greetings, fellow armchair Imagineers. Tiki here.
And Blue Dragon 5.
And PerGron.
In honor of Black History Month, we like to showcase the great Black contributions to the pop cultural landscape as we know it.
This year we'll be celebrating the milestones, heroes, and artistry depicting the Black experience.
So, without further delay, let's explore the history of Sinners on Black History Heroes. Yo-la-hey-yo-la-hey-yo-la-hey-hoo. Y'all ready to hit the slopes, gentlemen?
That was your yodeling?
that was my weak impression of the Matterhorn yodeling. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yodelay-hoo. I don't know. Seriously, I really think we should get like some yodeling music for the intro to these. Because Dragon, why is this image relevant to what we're doing here?
Well, as we like to get in there somewhere during Black History Heroes, we like to remind the folks who may not be aware, because we're mostly audio, and with the rare exception, this guy feels his ego, kind of like going in flux. He has to show himself when he's doing an award show. Aside from that, we are mostly unseen, but we need to remind the viewer, Tiki, myself, and I'm guessing PerGron.
Oh yeah.
we're the whitest men on the internet. So much so we're whiter.
PerGron might be even whiter than us.
I'm a New Englander, of course I am.
Exactly.
Ooh, the full tater tot, this one. Okay, so we are whiter than white. We are whiter than the whitest thing we could think of, which is David Hyde Pierce skiing in a blizzard in an all-white ski suit.
So there you go.
That's basically that. This is our flag, folks. Our flag is Caucasian. I hate to break it to you. We are as that is
how David Hyde Pierce became our mascot for Black History Month.
Yes, well, we needed sort of like rabbit in a snowstorm and just a white, basically gradations of white on a flag. We needed, what's the whitest thing we can think of that is not just rabbit in a snowstorm? Second answer on the board, David Hyde Pierce skiing. So again, just remember, folks, we're not the authority. We're not necessarily we're the demographic in terms of enlightening the other half, but take it for what you will. That's us.
So essentially, this podcast is white-splaining. That's basically what we're trying to say.
Well, I mean, no, we're I guess, are we being black-splained too, or not?
No, we're white-splaining to other white people, most likely.
Oh, right. Okay, no, that makes sense. Right, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, there you go. That makes sense. Okay, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
I mean, I'm guessing that's what our demographic is. I'm guessing our demographic is also
basically basically we're interpreting black art for other white people. It's essentially what we're doing here. Yeah.
Riveting. All right.
We're the heroes of the internet, really.
What?
Oh,
you know what the internet needs? It needs more white dudes with a little bit of emotion going about talking about black culture. That's what it needs.
Well, yeah. I mean, come on. What else are they going to do without us? I mean, come on.
Why do you think we're here, PerGron?
It's our duty. It's our bland duty.
Oh God. All right, so let's not delay this any further. Dragon, I'm going to put you on the spot. Everyone knows what me and PerGron think of this movie, but what did you think of this movie?
So I think it's great seeing Ryan Coogler, explore other genres. I think that was kind of the most exciting thing about Sinners, applying his craft and how he approaches a movie, which so far has been great. How he basically applying like how he's done the movies he's done up to this point, just applying them to essentially the horror genre, or I guess it's kind of a cross between historical, kind of a period piece, as well as kind of a horror movie. And it's basically bringing the black experience to a vampire movie, which we never really see, or at the very least, we've never really seen, outside of a comic book movie, or successful if we're throwing shade at a certain Eddie Murphy vampire movie. But you get the idea. The problem, here's the thing. I think the second half of this movie earns all the flowers, earns all the praise, earns everything that people have been raving about. I'm getting there. I love this. The movie kind of breaks down the two halves for me, and I think our second half, I think, is tremendous, and I think it's absolutely everything that I'm seeing. Like everyone's kind of glowing about. The first half, I think it's almost a two movies problem. Almost. I like our setup in our first half, but ultimately, I have one quibble with this movie, and it's the one thing that stops me from saying like this is Ryan Coogler's masterpiece. The pacing on the first half, I think, puts a damper on the whole for me. It's just, and again, it's only a pacing thing because I think what we have is good. It's just it slows things. It really slows things down for me by the time we get to like when all the action happens. I think it was just too big a leap. It's my gripe with Sinners, but I think obviously it's a great movie. Like, there's no bones about that. I mean, the back half is like a fantastic vampire movie that Ryan Coogler has done, and on the first half we have a pretty good historical piece. But knowing that the other half is coming, it's like, man, I don't think we're seeding this enough here. I don't think we're really, I don't think we're really kind of building the anticipation enough in our first half for what we know is coming, or what you're kind of been promised is on its way. And it just feels like, man, what story is he telling here? And then, I mean, ultimately, all the stuff that when we get to the back half, the foundation that we set up, I think, pays off. But it's just like getting there is just, it's I don't know. It felt like a little bit of like I was waiting to get to the good stuff, or at least waiting. I had the good stuff. I was waiting to get to the great stuff.
I mean, that's fair. Like, I respect it. Honestly, I'm very pleasantly surprised that you liked the horror stuff as much as you did, considering you're traditionally not really that much of a horror guy.
Yeah, I mean, he executed very well, especially with the executions.
I'm not like, this isn't a call out. This is just an observation, though, because I find it really interesting, Dragon, that your reaction is almost like the opposite of what most people take away from this movie, because most people are like,
they love the first half.
Yeah, the historical stuff is like amazing.
I like the historical stuff.
Fun and pulpy and cool, but
I like the historical stuff. I mean, I like the whole. I'm
not trying to like question your taste. It's a perfectly valid take. I'm just saying, like, it's definitely a different take than what the traditional like film bro culture has kind of taken away from this movie, which is an interesting perspective. Like, PerGron, you'd say that's accurate, right?
Oh, 100%. Well, as soon as you said you liked the second half better, I was like, ooh, that's interesting.
But again, not in like a judgmental, like he's wrong sort of way, more of a like, oh, that's a take I haven't really heard about this movie.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is my number one movie of last year and my number two movie of the decade so far. So like, there's at no point am I going to be like, Dragon, you're wrong. The second half was ass.
Right. PerGron, anything to say other than just that, as far as like your thesis for the movie goes?
I mean, I just think it's a masterpiece. I think this is a modern horror historical masterpiece, and I genuinely don't know how a movie like this got dropped in the middle of fucking April.
It was an April Fool's Day prank. That's how.
Yeah. No. So here's the thing. I gave this movie like, I think like number 4 of the year. I was wrong. This movie is definitively like probably number 1. As much as I love Weapons, as much as I love The Long Walk, like this movie is, yeah, I mean, I feel like it's one of the, it kind of reminds me of 2023, where my first reaction was to put Pearl as my number 1 of the year, but then looking back on it, it's so obviously Nope. This is kind of a very similar thing, including like a very prestigious black filmmaker doing something that's kind of like audaciously original, which seems to be like a cool like running theme throughout this decade of cinema. So yeah, I mean, PerGron, I completely agree. This is just I mean, it just hits all the notes. I think there's a couple nitpicks I have with the very beginning and the very end, and they're minor nitpicks. I don't necessarily like the jump scare like set up, like, hey, look, we promise we've got vampire stuff coming. That happens like literally right at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
I
they
could
do
go
like
about that.
they
Go
do
ahead.
like 3 jump scares in the whole thing, and all 3 are in with like the first
I
10
know.
minutes. It's like the 2 Remick jump scares and then the rattlesnake, and then it's just like
Damn it!
I guess, yeah. That to me is just an iconic moment, though, more than a jump scare.
What the Sammy thing?
Yeah, I say Sammy in that cadence. I have a friend named Sammy, and anytime we talk to him, that's how we introduce. We go, Sammy.
Let's see. So and then the other nitpick I have, and PerGron, you know this very well because of the contention with the Golden Tiki's Best Ending nomination. I just wish that they wouldn't have cut to credits before the mid-credits scene. I feel like it would flow better if we had if we just let that scene play out without the because we literally cut to credits and it's like we get like 3 credits and then we get like the whole
that was weird.
I just think it's just a little so it's like literally like little editing decisions at the very beginning and the very end of this movie are like the only nitpicks I have with it. Other than that, it's a masterpiece.
I don't know about you, but I think those editing choices,
in the words of your movie, suck. It's a normie masterpiece. Right. Dragon, what were you saying?
I don't know about you, but I think those editing choices are going to cost the Golden Tiki. I don't know in that category.
What, in the best ending category?
Yeah.
I mean, it would not be like I wasn't. I never really championed it for that category at all. Honestly, as much as I do think that the post-credit scene is good, I just think it's a little awkward. Anyways. So let's do some background on this, shall we? Shall we, Sammy?
Don't get weird about it, man.
Okay, so this movie went into production in January of 2024. Essentially, as far as influences go, this is like a whole ass like gumbo of ideas and influences that Ryan Coogler cooked up here. Some of the things that he cited, as far as like the basic structure, he wanted it to be basically like From Dusk to Dawn mixed with the Coen brothers, specifically like No Country for Old Men era Coen brothers. Let's see, he had a lot of other influences too, including stuff like Tarantino, obviously, The Thing, which we see with the cloves of garlic, Nolan, Salem's Lot, The Twilight Zone, and Dragon, Luck of the Irish. Ryan Coogler specifically cite that, which I find delightful. As far as like framing the actual story goes, Coogler saw a lot of parallels between African Americans and the Irish. He basically has said that the parallels are pretty obvious if you look at it that way, and so that right there was kind of like the big thesis statement, the big kind of like driving force. Like the Dusk Till Dawn meets Coen Brothers thing was the driving force for like the vibe of the movie. That was the driving force for like the lore and the story of the movie. And it's also just a very personal movie that Coogler filled with a lot of family history, a lot of music passions. His family and his parents had a deep love of the Delta blues, which he carried into this movie, obviously.
They also did vampires.
Yes. And then, of course, this movie is famous for Ryan Coogler getting a killer distribution deal where essentially, okay, let's see if I have this right. He, in exchange for the distribution rights for Warner Brothers, he got the first gross. So the first run gross of the movie all went to him. He got final cut privileges, and importantly, and this is like the big kind of like trailblazing, like, like champion black filmmaking thing here is after 25 years, this movie, the rights and the ownership and everything of the IP are going to go directly to Ryan Coogler, which is huge. And it just goes to show you that like this, I'm willing to bet that this is not the last that we see of this world. And it's a very exciting thing where a filmmaker with as fresh of an eye as Coogler has has control of an IP that's this rich and that's this specific and this original. So very exciting stuff there. And then, of course, just a few weeks ago, this movie made history by being the most nominated movie in Oscar history. Hell yeah.
Really, because no one's mentioned that up to this point.
I'm just saying. I mean, do you expect you to just like not mention that here, though?
No, I expect you to mention it here for sure. I'm just saying, I've been hearing this everywhere.
Well, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Honestly, I was really worried about the fact that, like, when One Battle After Another came out, I really thought that was kind of taking all of Sinner's momentum, especially because it's done by the same studio. So, very, very happy that One Battle definitely deserved its flowers. It got 11 nominations. I mean, that's a lot still. Right. But it's really cool to see that this kind of, like, historically took it. And I just want to say, like, I've seen some discourse where people are just like, oh, they just nominated it because it's popular. And I'm like, first of all, isn't that kind of what we've needed from the Academy? Like, haven't we needed the Academy to nominate stuff that's a little bit more mainstream?
Admittedly, we need them to do that on the documentary side of things. More so, but yes.
The documentary branch of the Academy is never going to change, Dragon. You're
I know. I'm just saying, if we don't mention
it, that's a losing battle, man. That's a losing battle.
We never mention it, then we know it's never going to change, Tiki.
God,
that's when we lose the battle.
But no, I mean, I just think, like, my whole stance on it is, like, I truly don't think there is a nomination that Sinners got that it didn't deserve. Like, I don't think they just this isn't a, like, Bohemian Rhapsody, like, oh, let's throw it into best editing just for the fuck of it, even though the editing in the movie is actually terrible. Like, no, like, I feel like this movie, like, deserved every single last nomination that it got. And I feel like people that are saying, like, oh, it just got nominated because it's popular, just very bad faith criticism, if you ask me. Anyways. All right, so yeah, that's it for background. Honestly, there wasn't a ton of background I could find just because it's so new. I'm sure that Ryan Coogler has a lot of stuff to say about the development of this thing. It's just since it's so new, we haven't really had a lot of time to mine some of that out of him yet. All right, so let's get into breakdown.
All right.
Who wants to start?
Okay. Breakdown.
No, just basically just free-form discussion about the movie.
Okay. I'm like,
I'm sorry.
He wants to just go over the whole movie.
Dragon, can you explain, like,
exactly
what this I'll do everything as usual. Let me start.
Oh God.
All right, so I guess from the top, we start with those really interesting etchings, and I think just overall with the editing structure of the movie, we kind of start with, you get a taste of the action, but we also we kind of set up, we have symbols of culture with the etchings, religion in conjunction with music, which is a very big theme that runs through the movie. Like the movie, it goes hand in hand because the movie revolves around the building of a juke joint. It's the place essentially built for so the underpaid black field hands, essentially, cotton picking in the 30s.
Mm-hmm.
Where they can unwind, a safe haven where they can unwind and just kind of like be treated as essentially, be equals and just kind of like have what the upper class has, I guess. And yes, I mean, I like that we have like debatably, because there's gambling in the place, and there's it's kind of like music and everything, as we're associating kind of music potentially is the devil's parlance, is the devil's kind of like go to kind of like playlist. Debatably brings in sin with the gambling and the music and just kind of like it just there, kind of especially in the South, it just seems like we're bringing a lot of that in, and just like the paranoia and like how the way that we demonize anything black owned, which just kind of where we are in the South. So we're playing with the religious thing right off the opening, where we have like Sammy, basically we're seeing the end of his story as the beginning of the movie. and we're set up. Okay, there's a guy. He has to put down the guitar. We see he's gone through some horrific trauma, and it's all related to music somehow.
Yep.
Yeah.
So with that idea, the whole like starting with the trauma, like starting with like, okay, like this is the day after the event went down, and we're kind of seeing the end of his story. That's obviously like the big Nolan influence at play, I would think.
Oh, no, for sure. Yeah. I mean, think about it. All the central things that the movie revolves around. We have them like up front, like 4 quick glimpses. Okay, we have a young black man, we have church, we have music, we have vampires. 4 things. We have black culture. Essentially, I forget if we see the cotton fields as we walk up there. But the point being, we're in the South. Black youth.
We see a quick bit of Sammy working in the cotton fields where he's talking to the one woman, and she's like, "Are you gonna tell us where you're playing tonight?" And he's like, "I'll see you at church tomorrow." So we have a little bit of just a little taste of the cotton field with that little moment.
Yeah, and his father is like warning.
Also, just kind of plays into like the black community of it all.
Yeah. So his father is a preacher. So Preacher Jed, he warns his son of the guitar music being the devil's music, and just it's the danger of kind of like playing, instead of playing in the house of God, playing for everyone else. It's and again, it's kind of also the sanctity of. My favorite thing in this movie is how we adapt the vampire lore. And we do it very well. It's like it's very on brand, how we use it in really smart ways. That's what I love most about the movie. And I love that in that respect. It's like, had he stayed here and just played his music at the church, potentially, he would have been safe from any vampire. No vampire would be able to come in the place.
But at the same time, he wouldn't have gotten that kind of like, like life-altering experience that led him to become like an actual like successful musician.
He would have never grown up. He would have been stagnant. It would have been
exactly.
Right.
He never would have been Buddy Guy.
So it's nice that Sammy is our eyes in character. I thought that was a pretty solid choice. He's our eyes in character, and we bring in the religious component within him as well, which again transfers to our vampire credits. I will say, okay, here's another issue I did have. It's really just one. Honestly, I love Sammy. I like what we do with him, but there's one issue with Sammy. We literalize the devil's music thing too much. I like it symbolically, which is what we start with in the movie, but later on, literally, like, we like that music you were playing, Sammy. We want you. That's too much for me. That's like, there's no subtlety at all there. We took
I took it, and I took it less as it's the devil's music and more of it's culture's pre-Christianization. Because Remick very much, and this is at the very end of the movie, but Remick very much goes into how Ireland was basically conquered and Christianized. Mm-hmm. And at the beginning of the movie, where they have Wumi Mosaku's character who is going over like what they called these people with these skills in different cultures, it's all very much pre-Christian people. So I took it less as this is the devil's music, and more as Christianity views anything that isn't Christianity as the devil's music or the devil, and it's more about connecting with your roots and your history and culture than it is like Satan himself.
Well, be that as it may, and you might be very well right about that, PerGron, but my problem is, like, what does it have to do with they said give us Sammy and we'll go. Obviously they're probably lying about that, but still, it's like they want Sammy specifically. Why do they want Sammy specifically, aside from the fact that he plays music?
Okay, well, I think it's less to do with the fact that it's the devil's music. It's more to do like Rumi Masako, her whole monologue, the whole point of the monologue at the beginning, the setup is it's not that it's the devil's music, it's that the music is powerful, it's spiritual in a way where it brings communities together, but it's also spiritual in a way where it's so powerful that it can draw out those negative kind of spirits. So I don't know. I think the opening narration kind of ties that together like pretty well, I think.
Well, no, sure, but I'm saying, why Sammy, though? That's what I'm saying. Why specifically him?
Because he's the one who's super talented, and his
Right.
They're playing music too. That's what
the confusion there.
I'm saying.
He's
They're
the
playing
musician
music
of the story.
Yeah, like they
just
have
want a
it.
good music act. That's essentially what it is. They need a good music act.
Well, yeah, it's a movie about music.
Yeah,
Dragon. If you really think about it, if you really
their
break
whole
it
introduction is, "Hey, look, we can play music too." So by definition, they can play music. They have they have like a whole sing along outside.
But Sammy's one of the people that Annie talks about at the beginning of the movie, that some people have a talent and a skill so powerful that it can connect the living in the past and the present and the future.
So they need that's a really good one who can be the emissary. They need a Pied Piper of sorts, is what you're saying.
Yeah, like
So if you really break this down, if you really break the plot down, there's not that much difference between this movie and fucking Tiana's Bayou Adventure. The whole thing is just like, hey, y'all, we need a musician for our party.
I don't know if you want to draw those connections, but okay.
Well, I'm saying that's a connection that you're drawing, Dragon.
That's kind of what I don't know. I think he was a little literal within the dialogue during those scenes, because I don't know.
I don't know. I kind of see it as that's kind of the same argument as, why does Frodo have to be the one to carry the One Ring? Why does Luke Skywalker have to be the one with the Force? Like, because that's how it's written.
Well, because he learned the Force. I don't know if that's a great comparison.
And Sammy learned how to play guitar and sing.
He knew how to do that at the start of the story and learned that along the way.
Did you really want the whole movie? Like, did you really want the first 20 minutes to be like a montage of like young Sammy picking up a guitar and like learning music and like having to hide it from his father? I feel like we get all that, man. I feel like, for example, Uncle Jed. Let's talk about Uncle Jed, because I feel like this does kind of like go to your point, Dragon. I feel like Uncle Jed is his screen presence is so powerful, even though he has maybe 5 minutes of the whole movie. Like, I feel like the actor who's playing him he's got such an authoritarian like quality to him, such a presence to him, that I really do feel like in the few like, for example, the one line that always gets me when I watch this movie is when Sammy's like, "I got somewhere to be, Pops," and Jed's just like, "Where you gotta be? That's more important than being in the house of God, son." And it's like, in that one line, I really do feel like you feel Sammy's whole fucking like upbringing of just like God comes before literally anything else, and it's just exhausting, it's suffocating. Yeah. So I feel like I feel like the little time we get with Sammy's father is enough to kind of paint the picture of like, this is a very talented musician. He's got very natural skills. He's self-taught, but his father is keeping him down because of the spiritual thing.
The movie has really good dialogue and really good subtleties like that, and yet on the flip side, sometimes it's like, we want Sammy and we'll go. It's just I
don't really know how to argue with this, because
I don't know either. It's not even an argument.
I think that's just like the plot of the movie.
I just feel like the problem is like, we're going to get everyone. Why don't you just try and get everyone?
Well,
why are we making this weird? Why are we making this weird bar? Yes, they were trying to get everyone. They said, "You're all going to die. You're all going to die." She said that, and then
okay, guys, can we like, because we're kind of jumping ahead to the second act of the movie. Can we build to it, maybe?
Sure.
Okay, so what do we think of the smokestack twins? Just probably like, just cinematically, just very, very instantly iconic characters, I think.
Can I say something about Jed real quick that I thought was kind of interesting?
Yeah, sure.
So the way they light him, like I've seen pictures of the actor, and he is darker skinned, but he's framed in and lit in a way that the entire time he looks significantly darker than any of the other characters.
Totally.
And I've seen discussions about this, and I think it's a really interesting discussion where colorism comes into play as well, and how being a darker skinned person, he would have had to grow up a lot tougher than the rest of the character, like even more so. And
yeah,
so
I like that. I can see that for sure.
So that's kind of what plays into it. But
We do get a little bit of backstory through the Smokestack twins and their experience with their father, which is Jed's brother.
Right.
So, and I like how the movie, like, it doesn't really like handhold you as far as like putting the pieces together, but and again, this is kind of another Nolan thing where it gives you the details, but it's kind of your response. It's not going to handhold you as far as putting the pieces together about anything.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I think the opening shot where we see not the opening shot of the movie, but the establishing shot of the twins, instantly iconic. And honestly, like, I feel like that shot is going to go down as like a trailblazing visual effect as far as like having like both actors portraying the same character on screen, because obviously we've seen that effect done before, but this movie, I've seen this movie like probably at least 5 times front to back, and I never once question it. I never once question that it is 2 different people interacting with each other. I mean, it's like, obviously, like, the logic side of my brain knows that it's just 2 Michael B. Jordans, but the effect and the performance from Michael B. Jordan, the little subtleties, the little differences between the 2 characters, and the way that they're written, like, those 3 things in tandem, the actual effect, the performance, and the writing, I mean, it just, like you could write a whole goddamn thesis paper on how these 2 characters are just like instantly iconic as far as like the realm of just original cinematic characters in general.
See, the fact of the matter is, the public loves Michael B. Jordan so much they cloned him and put both.
Right,
that's the truth. So it is 2. It actually is 2 Michael B. Jordans. They just found a way to clone them.
It's Michael A. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh god!
Anyway, Michael
B.
Jordan.
Make the original Michael Jordan, Michael C. Jordan.
Well, it's either that or it's like, like Michael Jordan, Michael B. Jordan, Michael B. Jordan II.
Oh God.
Anyway, but so he's pulling double duty on this, and it's pretty great. I love the red and blue kind of color thing. I like how we have like the differences, with the hats, and like one of them has like the gold tooth or like the gold kind of elements in the teeth. Just felt unique to make each other feel unique. I mean, I like that what we see in character traits and kind of personality here. So Smoke, as far as I can tell, he's money minded. He's kind of covering the business side. I mean, he's trying to be enterprising.
He's the Roy Disney, essentially.
There you go. And he's very much, it seems like he's ex-military, but given what we see about him, I forget.
They're both World War I veterans.
Okay, both of them were. Okay, so I was wondering if somehow it was only him, because we do that stuff with him later on. I think he has the soldier line, but you're right, though, because both of them logically would be. So we definitely lean on that with him, but we see he's run away from kind of the hoodoo things that his wife believed in, because they lost their daughter. So he's kind of running from something in a sense, I think he's kind of like he's been in the pursuit of like running away from trauma, like the trauma that kind of existed on the home front. And that's why they went to Chicago.
And they're also literally running from the Italian and Irish mobs that they ripped off and pitted against each other in Chicago.
Yeah.
I like how the hats show you which one worked with which too.
Oh yeah, for sure, yeah.
Like you have the red fedora for the Italians and the blue. I don't know what kind of hat that would be.
Like the Irish workman hat. So,
yeah.
It's a very Peaky Blinders look. But
yes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, so on the flip side, you have Stack. Of course, he's red, which kind of foreshadows his death and the sin to come. You could also argue, he's bonded with Sammy very well in the movie. He teaches Sammy everything, and he teaches him about, the ice cream button, I like to call it. And, he learns, we learned from Mary, we learned from Mary that, Stack's got an interesting backstory with Mary and her family, and with the whole thing where they there's like a deep seated thing where I believe Mary's grandfather was a black man, and
Mm-hmm.
her mother
I think
delivered.
half black, technically.
Well, sure, half black, and her mother delivered Stack. And that I love in the backstory, the fact the mother delivered Stack, the second twin. So Smoke was kind of technically the firstborn.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so
I am the eldest boy.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yeah. But we see like them having kind of a day to kind of get to know each other, and obviously this pays off, especially by the very end, like what the real end of the movie should have been. And it's love they've gone through kind of this. They've had this day together, and it really kind of made an impact on Sammy. Someone's like appreciating his musical taste. He's family, being cousins, and the whole they recruit Delta Slim together. There's a lot of fun to be had with Stack. But again, I like just like the difference there. Like Smoke is very much he's very much bred for the Albuquerque verse. Stack,
Mm-hmm.
He's a little bit more kind of like maybe more Goodfellas.
That's a good way to put it. I can see that.
Yeah. So we have a very solid supporting cast to trap in the sawmill. Ultimately, everyone. I love that everyone has a role at that. So one, just in general, because obviously this pays off later. Club Juke. I like that. I like that we turn it from like the sawmill. And we see it being bought by kind of a white landowner, and this guy obviously was it like
Hogwood.
Hogwood.
Which is
no. I was gonna say.
That's a great name for that character.
Yeah, so Hogwood, he's kind of ultimately he's set.
No, it's Hogwood. It's Hogwood.
Yeah, it's Hogwood, but it sounds like
Hogwood. Oh, I'm sorry.
It can't be Hogwash, Tiki. No one would ever approve the name Hogwash. No way Coogler would ever approve the name Hogwash for this movie.
Okay, that's fair. I'm sorry. I'm dumb.
Well, no. But I think it's supposed to make you think about it, because ultimately it's a facade anyway, though. So it's
right.
The thing is, ultimately that guy is trying to take their money and also kill them. That's essentially what his scheme is, which is it's terrible, but it's ingenious.
Mm-hmm.
So point being, I like that we've kind of converted this location roughly in like a 24-hour cycle, and he's recruited a lot of people that the twins know, and they've kind of reconnected with, and each of them serve a role like to the club that will then also entrap them. So we have the Chinese store owners. We have Bo and Grace, who basically they're suppliers. They get everything else they need for the club. Basically, they're furnishing everything. They're doing a lot of the heavy lifting here, and that kind of shows in the introductory scene.
I honestly think that the scenes with them are some of my favorite, just as far as like, how we're actually setting up the world and the time period and everything. Like, I love how the guy who's trying to rob the truck gets shot. I love how that's kind of just like
that's the Albuquerque verse scene right there.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. But then also just like it comments on the time period of like like, did you just is that you're doing the fact that there's a guy bleeding outside of my store, and just the fact that they can do that like so casually, like that's fun.
I love that he recognized that he made no bones about shooting his friend, because he can't have anyone like saying they got away with trying to steal from.
But I'm sure you appreciated this, Dragon. As a matter of fact, when I saw this in the theater for the first time, I was like, specifically, I clocked this moment of like, oh, Dragon would really appreciate that. The fact that he specifically pays for the medical bills.
Yes, I love that. I love this. Again, most Albuquerque verse thing in the movie right there. He shoots. It's a Mike Ehrmantraut move right there. He shoots him.
Absolutely, yeah.
And then he gives him the cash. But also, I love this bit. I felt this is like such a Coogler bit, and I thought it was fantastic. All right. The young girl that he pays to watch the car in case something like this happens, and like honk the horn in case something like that happens. I love that he teaches her kind of like to haggle a little bit or negotiate. These are some negotiation skills. Maybe a dime for like every minute. Says no, that's not okay. You should say you want a higher number. So you want 20 cents. I love that.
Yeah, totally.
It's fantastic.
Once again, really one of my favorite in that moment.
One of my favorite just little details in this that just make the world feel so real is the tracking shot behind Grace, where she goes from the black side of the street to the white side of the street.
Oh.
Yeah, totally.
And it shows that like the Chinese and Asian immigrants in general at that point in time were considered I believe the term is the model minority or something like that, where they were able to own and sell to both sides.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
While like you also see all these like white people in the background that are very much judging what is happening as Smoke shoots the guy in the ass.
Yep.
And it was just this little bit of like,
I love all the places he could have shot him to, by the way. I love that he shot him in potentially the less lethal place just to teach him a lesson.
Right. Less lethal, but more humiliating.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. For sure. So let's see. So we have that. Then we have Delta Slim, of course, played by the wonderful Delroy Lindo.
The Oscar-nominated Delroy Lindo.
Has he been nominated? Yeah, he's been nominated before, hasn't he?
No.
Really?
He was like, there was a big to-do about when Da 5 Bloods came out.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He wasn't.
Everyone thought he should have been nominated for.
He was really good in Da 5 Bloods. He really was.
We know, Dragon. We know this.
Yeah, it's surprising. Now, Tiki, you remember Get Shorty, the movie, right?
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen it, but I know of it.
Well, yeah.
Ironically enough, I think I did see fucking Be Cool.
Now, I don't know if I'm just saying with Get Shorty, I want to say that was like a big one, that early one that really put him on the map. Like it was where Delroy Lindo had a really memorable role in that movie, and it was like, I don't know, but anyway,
I could see that. Yeah,
he was good in that too. So
I don't think he's been bad in anything. I think he's a pretty fucking fantastic actor.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that's fair.
Man. So he does that here. He plays a really great seasoned, character, and a very character actor-esque kind of portrayal here. And I love that. He's playing kind of like the drunk, drunk musician that is very much Sammy's inspiration. Ultimately, is he's the entertainment. Like he and Sammy serve as the entertainment for the club, but ultimately, Sam, he's kind of Sammy's role model, and ultimately, what he wants just less alcoholic in the future.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of what it becomes. He does kind of look to Delta Slim. He kind of becomes the successful version of Delta Slim. Because Delta Slim's kind of a broken down, just kind of like week to week act essentially. He performs at this club. It's on the regular because he's really good, but he's spending it all on booze. But he's giving more money.
I've always really liked the logic that he lays out, where it's like, no, you're offering me $20 tonight for something that might not be here next week. Like I like this is a man of principle. It might be like very basic, like drunkard principles, but like he means business. He means it when he says like all I want is to make enough money to to drink as much corn liquor as I could drink, and that's it. That's all I want with my life.
That's what I'm saying. Like the individual scenes in the recruitment, I love the recruitment of everyone for the juke joint. It's just just again, like when you add it together, it's like this is all great, but it's just by the time, oh my god, an hour has gone by, and I'm just kind of where's.
I mean, my reaction is low key like, oh my god, an hour's gone by.
Yeah, that's kind of how I think Slim is probably my favorite character in the movie, and I think a lot of it comes from these early moments with him. I mean, everybody knows I've said this a million times on a million podcasts, but I think my favorite moment in the movie is where he's talking about him and his friend who takes out all his money and goes to the train station and gets blamed and gets lynched for it. And you hear the sound in the background. Like, we don't flash back to it, but you hear it. I think the sound editing in this movie is, if it doesn't win best sound, I'll be angry. And then you have him like start singing and humming and hitting the side of the car. And it shows that music is very much it's not just like an entertainment thing. It's very much an outlet. And I think that moment, plus the moment just before where he tells all the chain gang members to basically hold your head up and like be proud, and like he has so many just phenomenal moments at the beginning of this movie, where yes, he is very much the drunkard, the the comic relief character, but you also get these moments of like, why he's not drunk because he wants to be. He's drunk because society basically put him in an unwinnable position.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he is a survivor ultimately. And I think that's just a really strong way to set up this character of like, oh, we want someone who's going to be funny, who's going to deliver the line that he shit himself later on in the movie, but he still needs to be like a human being and a real character. And I think that they did it phenomenally with him. Also, the scene where he gets the beer too, like it's very much. I'm a history nerd. This is not something that I talk about openly because I'm ashamed of it. But
are you coming out right now?
This is my coming out story.
Let's beat him up and steal his lunch money.
But as someone who loves like the historical elements of this sort of thing, like the people. One, this was during Prohibition, so there wouldn't have been access to beer anyway. Two, they're in a poor part of Mississippi pre-refrigeration, so beer would not be kept very long. So it's not just that like he's a drunkard who wants a beer. It's that this is like a beer to Delta Slim in this moment in 1930s Mississippi. Would basically be like handing any one of us, like offering any one of us a one-time night, like guarantee for, I don't know, $10,000 or something. Like this is a rare commodity that you would never come by and is kind of hard to turn down. So I appreciate that aspect of it as well, because it's not just like the movie kind of paints it as a funny moment where he's like, ooh, because like I know a lot of people who you crack open a beer and you can convince them to do pretty much anything. But it's not just that moment. Like everything else in the movie, it has deeper layers than that, which I think is really fascinating.
For sure.
Yeah. Let's see. The cornbread was fun. So cornbread,
I fucking love cornbread, dude.
Cornbread. Delta Slim is my favorite character.
My boy.
Cornbread is the best character.
Well, I recognized Cornbread. Cornbread is this great character actor, a young man, Omar Benson. I think it's Omar Benson Miller.
Yeah.
So this guy's a character actor. He also does voice work. He is actually Finn in the Star Wars Lego stuff.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he's great, and he's been in stuff. I think he was in one of the American.
At first,
Pie
I thought
movies.
you were going to say he was Finn from Adventure Time, and I was like,
no,
get the fuck out of here.
No, but so he was a good character actor. And I think he really brought that to this role here. And we give him like his big moment later on, which is fantastic. But so he's kind of the muscle. He's the bouncer. He's he's delightful, and I love this dynamic with Mary. Is my favorite thing in the movie. I mean, with Cornbread, I just love that he's so nice to Mary, and that's ultimately going to be his downfall. It's what dooms everyone. Yeah. So then we have Annie. So honestly,
with Cornbread, there is that thing where it's like he's like they're recruiting him to work, and he's just like, "What'd you say about my wife?" And the wife's just like, "Hold on, hear him out. How much money is he offering?" Like, I love how with Cornbread there is at first a little bit of tension, but ultimately I think while Delta Slim, of course he is comic relief, but he's also got a lot of pathos to him. I feel like Cornbread is the closest thing that this movie has to just straight comic relief.
Especially in a later moment we'll talk about.
Yes.
It's about the guy who owes him money.
No.
Okay.
There's a moment that Tiki knows I love.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes.
All right. Anyway, then we have Annie. Annie, honestly, of all the introductions, Annie, I kind of felt was the weakest sauce one of the.
You know what? As much as I do like her as a character, I kind of see what you're coming from with that.
That was the moment that
I kind of feel like. Whereas, you know what? I almost kind of wish that this is like kind of like just like a layman's like kind of like normie filmmaker thing, but I wish we would have established more that she was the one doing the opening narration or something, because I do feel like the spiritual stuff in this movie, as resonant as it is, and I do think as the movie goes on, she clearly kind of becomes the heart of it, especially by the end. Yeah, it is a little bit it is kind of thrown in there a little bit like, oh wait, we're doing this now? Okay. What do you think, PerGron?
I kind of wish they had just done her first.
Like, I kind of wish
I kind of wish that he had gone to see her before he went to see the Chows.
Yeah.
Like, I think that it's just by the time you get to her moment, you're kind of like, it's all ramped up. You're kind of like,
that's actually a good point. I like that. I definitely agree.
Like, I don't think they would have had to really even change or edit anything. I think they probably could have stood to put her first. And also that could have tied into the intro a little bit more.
Could have tied into the intro more. It could have introduced the spirituality a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
My favorite moment with her, though, is that she sells the stuff to those little kids, and then not 10 minutes later, they just open fucking in the store. Door wide open. What if those kids come back?
They're not coming back.
Like, lock the door at least. Come on.
I don't know. Honestly, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Okay, so by the end of the introductions, we got to Annie. Annie was the one who was starting to dawn on me that's when, like, the runtime thing, but it wasn't, like, the best time to realize. Like, that's why Tiki, I don't think it was like an hour has gone by, and we've had this good stuff. We haven't even gotten to the main plot, but we have Annie, and then we have the Remick introduction, which these are the elements, like, there are things that can mess with the pacing for me. I don't know. Maybe it's like, maybe PerGron's right. Maybe in
the Remick introduction, I cannot, like, I think it comes at, like, the perfect.
I agree.
I don't know. Yeah, PerGron.
You couldn't introduce Remick earlier. He would be dead.
Exactly.
Yeah, so yeah, he was introduced around sunset, right?
Yeah.
Literally at sunset, yes.
No, yeah, yes, you're
one of the most iconic, like, I mean, here's the thing. I do feel like this movie is like a movie that is like, it is just filled with iconic character introductions. The character introductions is something that this movie just does exceptionally well.
Yeah. I mean, just to talk about Annie real quick, I do think that they do set up the Annie character really well, because you have the scene with the child grave that I think pretty much everyone has some sort of, like, emotional reaction to, right? I don't think you can see a baby's grave and be like, oh, that doesn't give me any sort of feeling. Because if it doesn't, then you're probably, like, not an okay person. And then it also, like, it kind of differentiates Stack and Smoke, because there's the scene where Stack is talking about, licking the ice cream. And then at the same time...
Yeah, the ice cream button.
Right. And at the same time, you have somebody who's his twin brother who is in a committed marriage, and they lost a children. So it kind of shows the more, like, the all work versus all play kind of dynamic between them again.
Yeah.
In a pretty interesting way. I also think that the introduction of the Mojo bag is done really well. You have
really a payoff to the Mojo bag, though.
Yeah, there is.
What is the payoff to the Mojo bag?
At the end of the movie, when he rips, it's what kept them alive, and when he rips it off is when he dies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he rips it off right before his final showdown.
Okay. I missed him ripping it off. I guess I somehow missed that. All right.
But do we want to talk Remick real quick? Because I think I'm going to say something that's been said 1.5 billion times. We need a Choctaw vampire hunter movie.
Yeah.
And
that did have a lot of intrigue when he was introduced. Like the Choctaw people just saying, "Hey, he's trying to warn him there's a vampire around here within not so many words." So like, they know.
This is where my history love makes me embarrassed. But one, there's a lot of history between the Irish and the Choctaw. during the famine, the Choctaw Nation actually raised money for the Irish during the potato famine. And ever since then, there's been like a real brotherhood between Irish and the Choctaw Nation. So having an Irish vampire character who clearly knew the Choctaw, I assume he probably was living with them or kind of within their system for a little while.
Probably until they found out he was a vampire. Like that's
right.
That's how I read it.
Right. And so like I think that having that history is really, really fascinating. But I think my favorite part is how Remick handles talking to the two what are their names? Bert and
I don't know, something racist.
Yeah. But he's like, they're after me, Choctaw. And as soon as he sees that she's not budging and the clan garb, he changes from Choctaw to Indian or Injun.
Yeah.
So he immediately goes from being like the proper, because like there is that cultural tie between those two cultures, to seeing, oh, these are racist people I can't appease with sympathy. I need to offer them money and use racial slurs. And so I thought, because like they could have gone and made the clan the vampires, and I think that would have been an entertaining movie.
So glad that would have been very, very lazy. I am so glad they didn't do that. That saved the fucking movie.
Right. Like it could have been an entertaining B movie. Like, all right, clan vampires is like Nazi zombies.
Right, yeah.
Like, okay,
that's vampires.
Right. It would have been fun, but having the vampire very much, and I'm sure we'll talk about this in a little bit when we get to the vampire stuff, but Remick is not racist. Like he's actively not racist.
I know, it's the whole point that he's not racist.
Right, which makes it so much more interesting.
Well, I know that is interesting about him.
Right,
yeah.
and he's so disgusted by but like when he sees that clan outfit that he very much knows immediately, he's like, "Oh, I'm dealing with bad people. I need to change my modus operandi here."
Yeah, I need to change my sales pitch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was imagining PerGron, just you going up to the Ryan Coogler and saying, "Mr. Coogler, could you sign my history book, please?" You did such a good job. Could you sign it like right here?
See, as a New Englander, there's two things historically that really get me going, and that is early American Revolution focused on Boston, and my Irish heritage.
Right now you have all these girls with books fanning themselves with the books right now.
Yeah. No, that's the thing. When you're from New England, you lock on to that little bit of Ireland in you.
Right.
I'm like 50% French Canadian, 50% Irish, and it's like only one of those matters to me.
All right, Paul, take it, Pat. We're just going to move forward here. So, let's see. So, I guess speaking of history, though, so yeah, the brothers' criminal ties with Chicago. I do like that bit of world building as well. Like them basically, pitting each other. We had Remick point this out later on. They stole the beer from the Irish, the wine from the Italians, and probably business and cash as well, I imagine. But at the very least, they stole the supply from them. And they pitted them against each other in the case of who stole from who, and they slipped away while that was going on. And they're starting up shop in the Jim Crow South. So that's interesting. I thought that was kind of neat.
Yeah, they and again, which one did which. That this was like probably their plan all along, is to play both sides.
Yeah.
I like the little Capone name drop. I know that was earlier in the movie, but little Al Capone there.
Yeah.
And I really like we're at the opening scene, like the opening of the juke at this point, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I really like the scene where they come over and the old guy's trying to pay with a wooden nickel.
Mm-hmm.
And Smoke is very much not cool with that. And Stack is like, no, like this is their place. We need to make them feel, safe and welcome.
I love that moment because you truly do feel both sides of it.
Right.
And it's also just like such a good kind of like representation of both of the characters. It almost kind of like boils the whole thesis of both of the characters down to that one little interaction.
Right.
I wasn't crazy about. There's a directorial choice that Coogler did during the juke joint scene. I wasn't thrilled about the like the dancing through the ages bit.
What?
I wasn't thrilled.
What the fuck?
What?
Oh man.
It was very,
Christ.
I don't know. It just felt very anachronistic and random. It felt like, hey, I just want to make a statement here versus like, let's tell the story.
Okay. That scene is going to go down.
That's scene of the year. That's the best scene of the year.
It's going to go down as one of the most influential scenes in any movie of the 2020s, I think.
Get at it. Oh, come on.
Possibly of the fucking century.
Oh, you're out of your
I mean, no, Dragon, yes, it's artsy. Yes, it's very much on the nose.
I'm not saying the man can't indulge. I'm just saying it felt like, usually Coogler doesn't indulge
the
like
way
that.
they do it, the way it, oh god, the way it ties into history, into the thesis of the movie, into the whole like music transcending different time periods. I mean, for me, it's just like it's haunting, it's electric. The song, the song is just captivating. But the imagery of it, I mean, it's wow. Dragging you, that is a take, my friend. I love you, but that is a take.
Did we accidentally let Code Geass on the podcast?
Well, you.
No.
Well, you both invited.
Legitimately, Dragon. Legitimately, I'm not even saying this ironically. Like respect, because I know I'm serious. Like I respect that. It's like because PerGron, like he is not tied into film bro culture the way that we are, right? Like he is not part of the Letterboxd crowd. So he legitimately doesn't know the impact that this scene has. So I find it fascinating that is his takeaway. And you know what, Dragon? You're not wrong about citing it as indulgent. It is indulgent. It absolutely is. PerGron, you want to talk on it a little bit?
Well, I think I see why. I kind of think I see why you had the issue with Sammy being the guy, because this was the point of that whole thing, is that at the beginning, Annie talks about the people from the different cultures having this power to connect the past, present, future, and spirits, and then we see Sammy has that power in this moment, and then once they have this moment, that's when Remick and the other vampires descend upon it, and it's because Remick wants that power and wants Sammy because he wants to see his history and his people again. Mm-hmm. So I think that, I mean, it makes sense now what you were complaining about earlier, because I think that the two things are very much like not mutually exclusive at all. Like without this scene, I can see where, like, why does it have to be Sammy can be a little confusing for you. I think this is the scene of the year. Like for me, this was, yes, indulgent, but I don't care that it's indulgent, because holy shit, the second the camera starts spinning and you go from it just being Sammy to, I think it's like a guy with a guitar kind of slash coded.
Yeah.
And then you get the DJs, you see everything from ancient, like tribal African dancing to like people twerking. And then I love that.
I also love how we get the other cultures. We get like the geisha influence.
Yeah, get you get the direct like Chinese dancing and stuff too. Yeah, I mean it's, and then like he burns the entire place down, which allows Remick and the other vampires to see into it. That shot of the burning thing, the burning mill with the three vampires outside, I think it might be just another iconic shot from this movie.
Yeah.
And it really kicks off. It goes from the history to the vampire movie at this point. Like, this is really where the switch happens.
Because it literally does the aspect ratio switch at that point,
right?
Right?
Yeah.
Well, we do that later during the climax.
No, there's a couple times it does it.
Really, there are other times.
If you're gonna, you really do have to see it on the biggest screen, because I've watched it at home since. And the aspect ratio changes are not as obvious as they would.
I saw the one later on, like in the third act, with watching it from home. I didn't,
Yeah, no, it changes like 3 or 4 times throughout the movie.
Right.
You Dragon, when we're done this or tomorrow or whatever, you should really go watch Ryan Coogler's interview about like the camera work and stuff in this movie. It's he's so passionate about it. It's crazy.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, this scene to me, like, you see everybody having a good time. The song is phenomenal. It's not going to beat Golden. I'm very
okay. Let's talk about that for a second, because Jesus Christ, I am so fucking bitter about the fact that Golden is going to win. I mean, it's like Golden is a bop of a song. Like, I'm not. It's an earworm. It's honestly, as far as just being like pure catchy and having hooks, yeah, it probably is more catchy than I Lied to You.
Right.
But Jesus Christ, I mean, just the sequence itself, and also I Lied to You is just so entrenched in the blues culture, and it's, oh man. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be very unhappy. Like, I'm gonna fucking, it's definitely like one of my most rooting interests in Oscar night is like, if I Lied to You can somehow pull off the win. Which I don't think it will, but I'm gonna fucking scream if it does.
Me too. I already screamed once in nominations when Delroy Lindo showed up.
Right.
A couple moments just before that, we kind of skipped ahead a little bit to the I Lied to You sequence. I really like the Cornbread letting Mary in and her buying Sammy a drink and talking. I really liked the stuff with, what was her name? Pearline, who comes in, and it's very much like, you can see why the movie is called Sinners. These people are all sinning.
He found the ice cream button and she likes it.
Oh God.
Yeah, you have a
free ice cream button.
And then you got Slim doing his thing, and then after Sammy eats the ice cream, you have Pearline fucking crawling around on her hands and knees on the stage,
which is another fucking amazing original song. Like,
Pale
legitimately, that sequence gets a little overshadowed, obviously, by I Lied to You, but like, PerGron, that sequence in its own right is incredible, because you know what I love about that sequence is it's kind of like the ramp up. It's kind of like the build up of like, okay, like, there is a lot of debauchery going on in this place.
Right.
This night, it's a night of celebration, but the sin is also in the air. And it's like, it's one of the last things that happens before the movie really kicks into full vampire mode.
Right. And then you have the scene where Smoke talks to Sammy about
not wanting him in the business because, he's,
yeah, this is your last juke.
Can I say something about that moment?
Yeah.
That moment is actually one of the few things I feel like I can nitpick, just because I kind of feel like it comes out of nowhere, and I don't really feel like it has a lot of resolution to it. It almost kind of just feels like Coogler throwing in some character tension for the sake of it. I don't know. Am I off base there at all?
I mean, not entirely.
I have noticed that scene, it kind of sticks out a little bit.
I mean, the scene itself is good, but it does kind of like, it seems like, well, earlier in the 24-hour span, like, he was very on board, like, help
That's
us
what
with
I'm
our
saying.
business.
Yeah. Like, I don't think the movie did enough to establish why he had that, like, hard turn.
Like, for example, if he was with, obviously this would only work with Smoke, but the idea that he goes off with Stack for the adventure, Stack would be the one who would have to give him this, this talk. Like, Stack would be the one who had enough time with him to make that determination. But, That's the thing.
I think that's part of the reason Smoke sent him with Stack. Though, kind of the way I read it is Smoke very much does not want anybody else in this life. He didn't want Annie in this life. He wants to protect his brother.
I can see that, yeah.
So I see it as less of like him being like, oh, we got you into this, and now it's more of like, don't go down the path I went down.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
That's kind of the way I read it.
He's a little too aggro about it, like the whole like.
I agree.
Son, and I'm a soldier. Like,
I think that was more
pulling the gun on him.
Literally threatened to kill him.
Right. I think that was more.
Sammy knew he wasn't going to shoot him, though. Come on.
Obviously, I'm just saying it's still a little extreme. It's a little extreme.
I did really.
We know you can work the guns, Michael. It's okay. We know we're all very impressed, Michael.
Oh God.
Yeah, I did really like him talking about Mount Bayou though, and being like,
"It's Tiana's adventure."
Yeah, being like, go there, go live there, and then Sammy being like, I'm just as related to you as I am to my dad, or not just as, but I'm related to you just like I am to my dad. Like, your name taints my possibility of getting alive there. You know,
right, yeah.
I thought that was really interesting and well done as well. And then, of course, we have the banger of the fucking movie, Pick Poor Robin Clean.
Okay, legitimately, though, I do really like all the Irish songs in this movie.
No, I do, too. The thing about Pick Poor Robin Clean, though, is it's actually a black folk song.
Yeah. But it's a black folk song, but it's also the most aggressively white moment in the movie.
Right.
Because here's the thing, the actual Irish folk songs that they sing
are
especially, I love Wild Mountain Thyme. Like, legitimately, like, that moment in the movie kind of gives me chills just because it is the moment that really humanizes the vampires.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's kind of one of those, you probably should have started with that.
Honestly, yes. Because here's the thing, Pick Poor Robin Clean, I feel like the reason they do that, and this is all getting into culture and stuff, is that they're like trying to integrate themselves into black culture by doing the black, folk, like the black song. But like it does come off false, even though they are technically doing it well. Like I do love Cornbread's reaction of like, damn, they can actually play it.
and Stack doing his little dance.
Right. But no, but like the whole thing is like, yeah, they are in that moment kind of like
they're being cultural vampires.
Exactly. Whereas the moments where they're actually singing the Irish folk songs come across a lot more authentically and humanize them a lot more.
Right. Yeah, I love the Pick Poor Robin Clean moment because it is just
what my favorite moment in the Pick Poor Robin Clean thing is?
What's that?
Is when they do the whole like
the little band, the little spin.
Yeah, the little turn with the guitars.
Oh, didn't that Jay?
That Jay Bird. the little choreography that they have.
Yeah, like I know that the whole movie is like Remick. It kind of is a hive mind where they still keep their thoughts, but they can all see each other. But I like to imagine the three of them were like out there practicing.
Right.
Like they're individual enough that I like to imagine they're out there practicing.
God.
But yeah, so after that you have Mary and Stack talking about like they need money and they're running out of money, and then you have her go out to be like, let me go check on those white people and see if maybe they are good folks.
Mm-hmm.
During the Pick Poor Robin Clean,
there's just something about that Wild Mountain Thyme song that just gets to me. Just honestly,
I've loved that song forever. So singing it here,
right?
Real quick,
I really feel something with this. So the performance of it is just genuinely beautiful. Like all three vocalists are just like doing it.
just real quick, I want to
also one thing I want to mention is that I love how as the movie goes on, Remmick's Irish accent gets a lot more pronounced.
Yes. But real quick, I want to just go back to the pick, pour, rub, and clean, because just tying back to what I said earlier is when I think it's Smoke who asked the all clan, and he just like gasps.
Yeah, no, that's a genuine reaction. Like, he's not trying to put it on. He's not trying to.
No, he's like, no,
sir,
we're evil, but we're not monsters.
Yeah. Again, like, I don't know, Remmick, like, he is a very fascinating character. I almost feel like the only reason why Remmick does not resonate with me this year as villains is as much as something like Mark Hamill in The Long Walk is just because, like, I honestly find it a little difficult, and this is going to sound crazy, but I find it a little difficult to even fully view him as a villain.
Yeah, I mean, he's the villain in this story.
He's a villain in the sense that, like, obviously but, like, honestly,
he's
like, even when you break it down, like, when you break down the ending and the fact that, like, you know, two of the characters do get this immortal life where they get to have a life together through the vampirism that they wouldn't have had otherwise. Like, honestly, the movie doesn't really make that many arguments against the vampire thing. It really doesn't. Like, and that's why I find Remmick, like, he's a fascinating character. He's a very likable character. He's a very multi-layered character.
Bit of a weird little creep.
I really don't think he's that intimidating as a villain, but that's not to take anything away from him. It's just the way he's written.
Dragon, what are your thoughts on it? You haven't talked.
Well, I know. Yeah, I'm trying to get a word in edgewise. The thing, thing I want to hit on with all this, I love the direction. Right after Mary goes out to check on him, and I love the direction in that, you know, we see just a hint of flight. And it's just enough to arm you with the, you know, the suspicion and the suspense, and you know it in your gut to be true. Just like, oh no, is Mary a goner? I mean, she's got to be, right? And then of course, the moment it clicks, the moment it's like, oh yeah, we are safe. We're so safe for the movie. It's going, oh, this is going to be so good. Just the building dread, and when the vampire lore really starts, just the idea that, you know, it's like the whole, you have to invite them in, and we have our poor doorman.
This movie does the whole, like, you have to invite vampires into your place. It does that better than legitimately any other piece of vampire media ever.
Because that's the one that always, like, you know, I mean, that's
the one where it's like, wait, how do you write that? Like, that's not an exciting role. That's not a cinematic role. Oh, it can be.
Let me tell you, the only time I've ever seen the inviting the vampire thing in anything actually done in a way that was actually addressed, it was kind of it was comedic. In this case, it was the only time I've ever seen it otherwise. Okay, Scary Godmother 2, The Revenge of Jimmy. To be fair, it's in both specials, but the second one we kind of see it in action. The point being, we have like the three vampires, and you know they try to enter their house, and we explain to the little girl, like, oh no, you have to invite the vampires, and otherwise just going to stand outside very politely, and they won't come in. You know, they're very polite about it though. So the whole thing, and then the second one, the kid's like eager to see his friend, he tries to run through the door, and he gets like slingshotted out, like, you know, you have to invite Worsen in, like, oh right, sorry, you know, that kind of. So just so that's the only other time I've seen the addressment of the vampire entry thing. You have to invite the vampire.
But this movie makes a meal out of it. Like, that's arguably like the most important vampire rule in the whole story.
I know, and you never see it. It was like, oh my god, they actually, and plus with this great character Cornbread, whose whole thing is like, he's the bouncer, he's inviting people in. So I love the dominoes that we've set up here. Like, oh no, and of course he's friendly with Mary, and of course it's like, oh Mary, come on, get in, girl. It's like, yes,
exactly. Yeah, he doesn't question it at all. Yeah.
So there's the building dread. I love the scene, and it's like, oh my god, it's feeding time, and it's just how all the dominoes fall, and you know when you're gut, like, I mean, she does have history, and there's some romance brewing with her and Stack, but you know, man, she's operating really fast here, and bad feel bad. And I love it, makes you want to go back and check when Sammy he goes in to to pull Stack out. Well, it probably should be pulling up. Well, he's sent in there to pull him out. You look at the pose, like, wait a minute, he's walking on an inopportune moment. But then, of course, the second time, it's like, wait a minute, the first time, if you go back, was that the attack happening, or was that right before the attack happening?
I do think it plays it a little visually ambiguous.
Yeah, which is great. It's like, and it's like the oh no moment. And this fan, still one of the best moments in the whole movie when Smoke. He goes in to pull his brother out, and then he just sees like what's going on. His brother's being feasted upon, not in a fun way, and he just pulls out the guns and unloads the whole clip.
Yeah.
Like that's when the movie. That's the full official shift of like, okay, folks, we're not dancing around it. We're in the vampire movie. Michael B. Jordan shooting vampires. We're there now. It's like you're all gonna be dead, and she just gets back up and flees. It's like
we're gonna kill every last one of y'all.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is a moment that they showed in the trailers that was pretty damn spoilery.
Yeah, no, I wish I had never seen a trailer, honestly.
Yeah.
We don't want to undersell too. Haley Steinfeld's really good in this movie too.
No, absolutely.
Oh, she's fantastic. I mean, honestly, there is not a weak link in this cast at all. Not even close. Everyone in this cast just fucking delivers.
It also should be probably noted, like she's like the only, not counting Remick, who's kind of complicated given the whole vampire thing. She's like the only non-villainous white character in the movie.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah.
So going back to right as Mary and Stack enter the back room, my favorite moment is you have the fight brewing. So Sammy is sent to go get Stack. Yeah. And Slim has taken Cornbread's spot at the door, and he's like, "Oh, he's back in there. Go on in." And then he opens the door and he backs out, and Slim's like, "Oh, he's busy."
I love Delta Slim's laugh throughout the movie. Like it's so distinct.
Yeah.
But also like afterwards, before he even goes into the room, Smoke is like, where the fuck is Cornbread? Why are you sitting there? And then you get the moment Dragon was just talking about where he just unloads. The moment where he's holding Stack is like genuine emotion.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And he's holding himself too, which is even more impressive.
Yeah, no, it's fucking crazy the way they do it.
Yeah.
Gone are the days of mirror images of Lindsay Lohan. We're at Michael B. Jordan.
Right. They cloned him. I'm convinced they cloned him.
And
they also killed this Michael B. Jordan. At least they probably turned out the clone into a vampire somehow. I don't know.
I really like that they don't immediately go to vampire too, because why would you?
Like, the creepy drool effect too. I forgot about that too. Like during the sex scene, you had like, it was such a gross bit, but it was like, I like that distinction though. Like these vampires, it's not like it's not like the Bela Lugosi kind of look. It's like, it's not even the full Del Toro either. It's like this kind of in between thing where it's like just the mouth is widened and there's like the drool. It's like because of the insatiable hunger, you see the bite mark, and then it's like goner.
Mm-hmm. I really like that they're going with a haint first is the term that they use, being like just a malicious evil spirit. And it's not until Stack comes back and she throws pickled garlic on him that they realize, no, this is a vampire.
Yeah.
Because why would you immediately, even if you're
probably that Annie did that too, given she threw the pickled
yes.
It's probably because given she was kind of the cook, that was her role there. She was the cook, and of course given the the spiritual kind of side of her too. So it all
So she's probably like, let me give this a shot.
Yep.
And then he flees out the door. And then you get the cornbread scene.
Yeah.
Okay, really quick before we get to the cornbread scene.
Yeah. What do you have against cornbread?
I just want to mention, well, the cornbread scene is hilarious in its own right, but I do think that the biggest laugh in the movie for me and for audiences when I saw this movie in theaters was when Stack first wakes up and he's knocking on the door and Smoke's like, "Stack? Is that you?" "No, it's Jim Crow." Like, that is such a good line. That's such a fucking good line. All right, yes, the cornbread scene. Oh, man.
So this is great. This is perfectly framed too, just with the open door, and it's like, well, why isn't he walking in?
Yeah,
I just love how Cornbread just gets progressively more desperate. Like he's he's trying so hard to like keep his composure. Like Vampire Cornbread in particular is such a fun character.
Yeah.
So
one scene, but it's gold.
What is it we're supposed to be doing? Being kind to each other. This moment is so good because like there's genuine tension there because there is a very good chance he got bit.
It was a dumb move to pay him, though. You got to admit, that was a hard movie.
Yeah, no,
it was a hard movie logic thing, though. Like, okay, we need to demonstrate, that
right.
Definitely, but it's
like, if anything, you should have thrown the money.
Yes, just throw that money at him. I don't know. First of all, don't pay him. You know he's a vampire, so you know it. Everyone else knows it.
But I love when they're like, so you've been in and out of this place all day and never once had to ask to come in.
Mm-hmm.
And just watching them all piece it together is a lot of fun. And he's like, I'm just trying to be polite. Like, can you imagine like going to your friend's house, getting turned into a vampire and having to convince them to let you back in?
Tiki, doesn't it feel like Poncio from like a JGI sketch just a little bit?
Oh, it's kind of a little bit. I
feels like Poncio just like trying to like lull you into the false sense. I'm not a vampire.
Right.
Oh, you know what sketch I could see this being? I could see this being a Tim Robinson sketch too.
Oh, definitely, yeah. All right, guys, I see what's going on here.
You all think I'm a vampire
or whatever. Well, frankly, I'm kind of offended by the notion, like we're in an age where being polite is looked down upon.
Okay, Tiki, just real quick. Imagine Larry David made a vampire argument, which ultimately was a Trojan horse to get invited.
Larry David is exactly why I think you should check out I Think You Should Leave, because essentially I Think You Should Leave is like elevated Larry David, social, like awkward shit. Like PerGron, wouldn't you agree?
I agree.
Yeah.
Anyway. Just imagine the curve where he walks up and says, "You're really not going to invite me in? Really? The whole night? You're not going to invite me in?" I would it would be nice to be invited in to my own establishment, to my own chair, just maybe once, because I've been letting everybody else in. God forbid anyone invite me in.
Yeah. But yeah, so they shoot him in the face.
Yeah, it's kind of the operative solution there. Yeah.
And then they do the pickled garlic or the garlic moment. It's not even pickled garlic.
Yeah, it's kind of the Star Trek moment where it's like, everyone cut your hand. Let's see who the imposter is.
No, it's very much John Carpenter, The Thing.
Yes.
Well, yeah, you're right.
It's pretty much a direct, like, 1-for-1. Like, if anything, this is like the most on the nose. Like, yes, this is the influence that we have, and we're running with it.
Right.
Yeah. Looked like it was Perline for a second there.
For a second, yeah. I love how much tension is in that moment. Like, just like, damn, just eat the garlic, girl. Come on.
I felt so bad for that poor club patron. It was just unconscious. He had just like the booze or whatever. It was like ketchup bottle behind them. Oh, that poor guy. Hey, let me in, but I love the tension there. You, by definition, can't let that guy in because, even if you wanted to try and get him in time, it's like, wait a minute. It could be a desperate plea just to be invited in.
Exactly.
Like, he's doomed, and he's doomed. Like, oh, no.
But yeah, before that, we get the cornbread moment of the movie. And that's the rocky road to Dublin. I genuinely, if this was happening, this would have gotten me to go out. if there's a bunch of people doing like an Irish jig in a field singing the
You're
rocky
so
road
full of it, PerGron. There's no way that would have gotten you to go out in a vampire. Like,
it would have. It would have absolutely gotten.
You're out of your mind.
But,
you deserve to be a vampire. You deserve to get killed at that point, PerGron. I'm just going to say it. If you're that stupid, you deserve to be killed.
But oh my god, the moment where it's just cornbread and he's doing a little jig around the fire.
I feel like that is like the gif of the movie, right?
Absolutely. But yeah, it's
with his face
Remick,
fucking half blown off, but he's still just so into it.
But it's Remick embracing his Irish roots and while just taunting these people too. Showing off how many people they got. It's just a blast. It's such a fun moment.
But I do genuinely love how like it's kind of funny because like everyone kind of differentiates the two halves of this movie is like historical drama in the first half, horror movie in the second half. But really, I honestly think you can make just as accurate of a statement of where it becomes a musical in the second half.
Yeah,
because we get like 5 songs, right? Like I Lied to You,
Pale
Moon, Pour Robin Clean, Wild Road to Dublin, Irish, the Wild Mountain Time, and then Pale Pale Moon. Yeah, 5 songs in like half a movie. I mean, there's Disney movies with less than 5 songs throughout the whole runtime.
Right.
With all the Irish vampire talk, I wanted to ask, PerGron, are you familiar with Preacher at all, the show?
I've heard of it. I've not seen it though.
Yeah, because they have an Irish vampire in that show, like as a principal character, and he's really he's beloved. He's like one of the best parts of that show.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, anyway, yeah. So in general, so I love our premise. Everyone's trapped in the juke joint till sunrise, and it's just the just realizing it's not hoodoo, but it's vampires, and just everyone just just in this desperate position, and the idea of like threatening like the loved ones just to try and get you to come out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Remick's sales pitch again was like one of the MVP things of the movie here. Is essentially the boil it down is like, you're already dead. You're dead to society already. Okay, why not be undead and get even and live forever? There is no downside here, guys. I mean, you're already living a crap existence. Why don't you take all the benefits of being a vampire? What's the worst thing? You can't come out during the daylight. It's essentially, it's kind of what it's like now. When you're out during the daylight, you're picking cotton.
And I legitimately think the movie like intentionally does not really give you a good counter argument to that, honestly.
Well, which is great. I love that. And again, it's kind of the idea, and this is something Coogler's kind of played with in other films, like especially you look at Black Panther, and there's a little bit of like the proposed with the Michael B. Jordan character as well. It's kind of the idea of like getting even. It's kind of what Killmonger's plot in Black Panther for a bit. There's like we have the Wakandan tech. Let's get even.
Sure.
I was saying it's like the hint of kind of that, and that's kind of basically what the pitch is from our bad guys. Like it's the whole like the ethics of like obviously like. Hate in kind's not going to do you good, but it's hard to argue sometimes. Yeah. Now, I got to admit, the trade-off with this proposal that he's making is that so ultimately the reason they don't go for it is it's very sinful. It's also I really feel it's. The whole hive mind thing, I really think the hive mind thing was kind of a mistake in this movie. I don't know. I think they're doing the whole, like, when we eliminate them all, they do it all at once, and it's like, you kill the leader, everyone else dies. It just seems like he's really pulling the strings around. So basically, like, he's trying to get a legion of the undead that follows only him. And in his sales pitch, he's making it sound like a choice. And I feel the choice was more interesting than, he's basically manipulating them into coming out versus like, it was like we're going to get you all anyway. Doesn't he have enough followers?
The hive mind factor is the argument against it. It's like you live forever, but you do lose your individuality.
Yeah, but why though? Why couldn't it just be like maybe he's a good leader and he turned them all for their good, like it's a cult leader thing, perhaps. I don't know.
It's less of a hive mind in that because like you see Mary and Stack running off together. Like they're very much able to make their own independent choices.
I know that's the problem. I think that's.
But would they have been able to do that without Remick dying though?
what bothers me, it implies that when Remick dies, as we see in the movie, they all die, but then I'm wondering, how did they survive? And I think it would be better if it was just like
Well,
they
they
all
survived. The way I read that is that they survived by like kind of, hiding out in the house.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. It didn't play as like they were all just happened to be out in the sunlight and that's what killed him. It played like he was getting injured and they all got injured. So that would imply if he gets burned alive,
well, no,
they all get burned alive.
They felt his pain, and Mary feels the pain too. You can see that in a moment.
Yeah, they feel the pain.
But it is the sun that killed them. Like, it's very much being in the sun which is what did them in. Like, they can feel the pain, they can see the memories.
Okay,
but he's not like in control.
I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Now, with that in mind, though, I think we should point out by far what I think is the most intimidating Remick moment is the stuff with Grace. How he uses that kind of intimate knowledge to his advantage. Like, that is like the moment for me where it's like, okay, like Remick, genuinely speaking, is a pretty likable villain. Like, and you can be on his side a lot, but that moment is just kind of one where you pause. You're like, oh no, this is a bad guy.
Right.
He's using the ice cream button for evil. You don't do that.
The ice cream button, yes.
You don't use the ice cream button for evil. Anyway.
By the way, I do love Bo's general demeanor and like, come on, honey, I got the car all warmed up for you. Let's go.
As Cornbread's chowing down on something.
Right. No, don't worry about him. He's just hungry, baby.
That's something we do have to kind of discuss between that and I think some of the stuff earlier. It just seems like Remick, I think as clever and kind of smart as he is throughout the movie, it just seems like, I mean, he has control over these guys. I mean, they're kind of stupid. Otherwise, it's like, how does no one picking up on the fact they're going to see him chowing down on somebody there?
Well, at that point, they've all exposed it. I don't think anyone is trying to hide it anymore.
Plus the whole, even earlier on, it's like the whole, like, hey, we want to, we want to be a musical group so we can gain entry inside. I don't know. It felt they had to know that was going to be a losing battle to some degree. I don't know. Like, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I see what you're saying. I just think that the moment itself is so entertaining that I kind of chalk it up to a we don't care at that point.
Yeah.
After that, you get Grace just frankly, justifiably crashing out. And
I have seen like people like be like, "Oh, this is like the most frustrating part of the movie," and it's like, no, like I'm with you, PerGron. I very much think that it's like
they killed her husband and are threatening her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
no, I'm with you on that.
It's kind of like the Chris Pratt punching Thanos thing that people got all mad about during Infinity War.
Yeah, you could just say Star-Lord punching Thanos, but yes.
No, it's Chris Pratt. No, but it's kind of like that same,
Jesus.
It's like that moment where it's like the internet's gonna just be weird about it and not understand how human emotions work because the internet doesn't have human emotions.
Right, yeah.
But if you watch your husband get turned into a blood-sucking monster, and now they're threatening to go after your daughter, which they have intimate knowledge of because of the way that the mind thing works, I'd absolutely be like, come on in, you motherfuckers, or whatever it is she says.
Pretty much.
And then you get a pretty cool battle sequence.
Yeah, it's a pretty. That's when we do like we change the aspect ratio.
Yeah. You have both the chows burning.
And that is a very MCU moment to line up. Yeah. That is the closest thing the movie comes to like, look at us. We're a bunch of guys, a bunch of jackasses standing in a circle.
I don't know if you noticed this, but there's also like random people in there with them. There's people who are not. Yeah, there are people. If you rewatch the scene, there are people in the lineup that are not in the movie. But yeah, they come in. You have Grace burning, like self-immolating alongside Bo, which is fucking graphic to watch.
Yeah, it's good for Valentine's too.
Annie gets taken out by Stack. Because like when she says, "Why'd it have to be you?" That got me. Slim sacrifices himself in the dumbest fucking way.
I love Slim's death. I think Slim's death is probably the best of the movie.
Oh, it's good. It's just like, dude didn't have to do all that.
No, but I mean, it's still just kind of like the guy just goes out swinging, though.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And honestly, I kind of feel like if you do want to read into it, it's like this guy is very much a man who's kind of at the end of his life when the movie starts, you know.
Right.
So I kind of feel like the character himself sort of likes the idea of going out in a blaze of glory. You know, I definitely
absolutely.
feel like, yeah, it might not have been necessary, but
it was did like to save Sammy too,
like him going out on his own terms almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, which, by the way, I love how we have to talk about this a little bit. I do love the genuine bond that develops between Slim and Sandy.
Like he promises that Sammy's going to be okay.
Where, like, but at the very start of the movie, he's just like, "Boy, I got socks older than you. What the hell do you know about the blues?" Like, so I love how the genuine respect forms very naturally over the course of the day. Anyways.
So the brother versus brother moment was also really, the twins battling each other. But I guess before then, the whole thing with Annie. So Annie's, so I love that Annie had the promise, the whole thing. She wanted to die, before sin got her, essentially. She wanted to die before becoming a vampire, so she'd be reunited with her daughter, which was a really powerful thing, and which led to, like, basically he made the Star-Lord Gamora promise, and he actually carried it out. Yeah. Anyway, let's see. But yes, ultimately we have the so it's a very dramatic loss on her. But again, like he carried out the promise. This leads to Smoke and Stack, kind of doing battle against each other, and we cut away from it very cleverly. Let's see. So during the big the big action scene, so Sammy, he's trying to escape, and he ends up. I like the baptism parallels, as he's being, like kind of dunked in the water and everything, with when he's going up against Rennick.
Yeah, and when he starts saying the Our Father, trying to get like, because like obviously in most traditional vampire media, that's the thing that works usually. So saying that and then having all the vampires reciting it back is obviously very intimidating. But I really like the line Remick delivers where he says, those words were forced on my people too. But I still find some sense of comfort from them. Like it's very much the movie is not being like, yeah, Christianity is bad. It's being like the ideas of repressing yourself and your culture is where the evil comes from. So I really like that moment a lot. And that line a lot, especially.
Yeah. So I love the silver thing. It's not quite a silver bullet, but it's the next best thing. It's a silver guitar we use to Rennick in the head.
I love how visually distinct the guitar is from the very get-go. Even like we literally start the movie with the image of like the broken guitar. It's like it's literally he's just holding like the top half of it. The rest is broken, and then that silver is a very visually distinct, part of the guitar design. Only for it to be used in that way. That's definitely really cool for sure.
That's Charlie Patton's guitar. So you get he gets the silver to the head. Then they all burn, and I don't know if you caught it in the score, but they play little notes of like pan flute and Irish music as he goes up. And I like that the fire spirals upwards. I think that's a really
good touch.
Yeah. Like,
I think Remic's death is very similar to Killmonger's death, tonally.
Yeah, I mean, you have a guy who... Yeah, you have a guy who very much, didn't want to be in the position he was in. It's pretty clear that that's the case. He very much wanted to see his people again, That's why he wanted Sammy. So, in a way, Sammy kind of let him see his people again, and I thought that was kind of a nice touch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so the cross-cutting, after in the aftermath in the morning here. So the idea that we link up Sammy at going to the church and seeing his father after he's gone through this terrible night, and he basically needs to put down what's left of his guitar, which felt very petty on the father's part, by the way. Just put down that guitar. Well, come on, there's no guitar, man. Just let him have this. Okay, he's obviously been through something. He's deeply wounded. I mean, come on, man.
He's leaning into the symbolism in the moment.
So on the flip side, we have the whole thing where Hogwood has again. Remick called out what Hogwood's plan was, or at the very I forget it was Remick or if it was Stack by proxy of all the knowledge that he got from Remick, but whichever.
It was kind of a combo.
Yeah. So anyway, the whole thing that the clan was playing an ambush, the next morning anyway. So with having gone through everything he's gone through, this is easy peasy for him. He just grabs like the guns that he kind of had in like a Foot Locker somewhere. Their time in World War I, and basically he's got him. He takes out the clan. So if anyone for anyone who wanted the clan to full on be vampires, it's like, well, this is the next best thing. He's still killing clansmen. Still pretty neat.
Yeah, and
for sure.
It's a great moment.
Yep, I love. It feels very Tarantino-esque to a degree. So, but it's kind of Tarantino-esque kind of crossed with kind of the Killmonger fate in a really cool way, where it's like he, the leader, Hogwood himself, he's shot but he's not dead, and obviously our guy, Smoke is wounded. And he's kind of laying down there, and it's kind of this thing where we have this very Coogler bit where he, in his last moments, he's lighting up a cigarette and he sees Annie holding the baby, and I love the bit where we never explained the name. Did we ever really explain the namesake with Smoke and Stack or no?
Not really.
But I love that it's like Elijah put out that cigarette. So that tells me everything I need to know that he smoked a lot, which we kind of saw the brothers sharing the cigarette, whatnot. So it's like put it down so you can hold the baby, and I thought that was a really beautiful little moment there, and that was kind of his Killmonger, I want to see the sunrise moment, and then we have the Tarantino reminder of listen, I have mine. Just instantly blows the guy away, shoots the terrible racist man, and then that he holds his proverbial baby in a nice kind of final gesture. So it's a great fusion.
Yeah,
totally.
I want to talk about the cigarette real quick.
Yeah,
because that's the moment where he rips off the mojo bag is when he sits down.
There you go.
And he's at the beginning of the movie. Literally, the first thing that we see them doing is Stack is rolling the cigarette for them, and now at the end there's no Stack, and so he can't roll his own cigarette, which I believe had to do with like a hand tremor or something he got from the war, is how they explained it.
Okay.
But it's kind of interesting that this motif of like every time you see them with a cigarette, Stack is the one rolling it, and then at the end he can't even roll his own cigarette.
That's really good.
So I really like that, and then I really like the moment of I like that both the brothers get a happy ending. I really like that. Like in a way that genuinely feels like they
pretty much almost like mirror image opposite ways too.
Yeah, like it's the way that they would be happy.
Totally.
Because Stack gets to be with his woman, who would not have been allowed in their time. partially because she was married and partially because she was white. And
they also protected her. That's the thing. They kind of made sure she
right.
was like good with the upper class and everything.
Yep. Yeah, and Smoke gets to be with his baby and his wife. So it's like it's a sweet, and it's like bittersweet, but it's a sweet ending. Where both of them get to have this happy ending in a way.
Yeah, totally.
So then we have a really great ending that we oddly break up with credits, but it's a great ending.
Yeah.
So it's 1992. Sammy lived. Sammy will live. And he lived a long life. I love the detail that he named his group the Perlines.
I do like that detail. Yeah.
Adorable. And we just had this fantastic mid-credit thing, bizarrely mid-credit, where we reveal Stack and Mary survived, and they're 90s vampires, which that's a Coogler thing to a T. He wanted
absolutely.
The way Michael B. Jordan is dressed, it's like Coogler's like, okay, he has to be dressed like this.
Yeah, he's got the
we're going the full Arsenio on this one. He's got to look like this.
The knuckle jewelry. I don't know what that's called. It says Stack.
Yeah. But the series, I love this. This was fantastic. So the idea he promised his brother, like in the last moments, like he just couldn't bring himself to kill his brother, and just the promise, like not to go after Sam, or at the very least, he ultimately to give Sammy a choice, which I think was a really beautiful thing. Where he actually gave him a legit choice, it doesn't have to end for you though. Like promise to leave you alone for your whole life. It's not much longer, but we could extend that if you want, and I'd love to just, there's nothing really much to live for at this point.
I've seen enough of this place.
Now, remember, if memory serves, I forget it happened in 91 or 92, but I think, the Rodney King thing happened in 92, didn't we?
Oh, that's true, yeah.
So it's, I like that. He's not spelling it out, but it's kind of there. It was a really, the 90s was
you know what? I didn't even think about that, but that is a good pull for sure.
I think it was 92. I really do. But anyway, regardless, I just love this last kind of scene between them, where it's the whole that everything had happened before nightfall. I mean, it was the best day ever, right? Oh yeah, absolutely. Just that little agreement, that civility between them, after everything. Despite
I love the message of that. I love the music. I do really like the last image of the movie being the road with the cotton fields on either side.
Yeah.
That is a fucking killer last image.
Yep.
Almost so much so that I kind of wish that we didn't get the later post-credit scene of Sammy just playing the guitar.
Yeah, it was a really good final note.
Uh-huh.
The cotton
I'm like, okay, guys, if you had to do one mid-credit scene, just stick with that. Just quit while you're ahead at that
point. Coogler was like, I directed 2 Black Panther movies. I'm gonna
God damn it, I'm gonna have some mid-credits, post-credits bullshit.
Yeah, but that's the thing. He had to have realized, okay, I really want to make sure everyone sees the really good stuff. This other one's like, well, I didn't have the guts to put it all at the end, so I could just say, nerds to anyone who didn't stay to the end of my movie to see the really great scene. I gotta make sure I get it in there because the studio.
It's a better post-credit scene than fucking Fantastic Four First Steps. I'll give that much.
Oh, come on, man.
I know. I was legitimately pissed that was the post-credit scene in Fantastic Four First Steps. I will not back down on that.
I mean, I thought you liked Thunderbolts. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I got in reverse there. But you didn't like the cartoon?
No, I didn't. I thought it was lame. I thought it was like, really? That's what we're staying until the post credits to get? All right.
What's the fun post credits? We had the big one. It was the fun one. Do you think it should have been reversed?
I still think this one in Sinners is better. That's all I'm saying. I don't know what to tell you. I don't feel like making it into a whole argument.
Let me get this straight. You like just him playing?
Oh my God, Dragon! We don't need to make this a thing. I'm sorry I said anything.
I'm sorry you hate talking to me. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
No, look. I'm just saying, like we need to focus it back onto Sinners. You're making it into a.
Well,
whole,
guess
like,
what? We're at the end of the movie. What else do you want to talk about with the movie?
Final thoughts and wrap up in Legacy,
Yeah.
because that's where we're at. I don't think we need to bog it down with a fucking Fantastic Four debate.
Well, you brought it up.
And I'm sorry I did.
Yeah, you should be.
Oh man.
Disney debate, which has a better ending. All right.
Okay.
All right. Well, to break this up, I will say, yeah, no. I mean, I said it at the beginning. I'll say it now. You can nitpick this movie, and that's fine. But if the worst you can do is nitpick a movie, then I think that's a pretty fucking amazing movie. And you know, that's kind of how I saw this movie 3 times in theaters, and I would have seen it more if I hadn't gone on vacation about halfway through its run. It's theatrical run. If you ever get the chance to watch this in IMAX, by the way, and this goes to everybody watching, watch it in IMAX.
I legitimately think they should re-release it in IMAX. I'm kind of surprised they haven't.
I agree. But yeah, I mean, I think it's a fantastic movie. There's really no part of it that I would remove from it or say you could do this better. There's things that I would, you know, change minimally as possible if I was in charge. But you know, I think this to me is Coogler's masterpiece so far. I hope we get more movies. I hope we get more movies in this universe, but not with these characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like, give me that Choctaw vampire movie directed by a indigenous filmmaker, please. I need that injected straight into my veins. And I think you could do a lot of really interesting things with other parts of the country too. Like if this became like a kind of almost like Cloverfield, where it's like you can set things. Obviously, that's a bad example because those movies aren't phenomenal. But where you can set a bunch of very unique, different stories within kind of the same world.
Sure.
Like I think you could do something with Appalachia. I think you could do something with a Wendigo, right? You could do things
even like Chupacabra and stuff.
Yeah, like there's folklore and culture everywhere.
La Lorna.
Right, like stuff like that I think would genuinely be really interesting to see done in this style, produced by Ryan Coogler, but directed by people whose cultures they're tied into. And I think that if it's going to go anywhere, that would be the way I'd like to see it go.
Okay, imagine an Alfonso Cuarón La Llorona movie in this universe.
Wow, yeah.
Right. All right, Dragon, you want to speak on final thoughts, legacy, etc.?
Yeah, I'd like to speak on etc. So, yeah. So, look, final thoughts. I think this is it's something very positive that came out of last year. For I guess in terms of what we're doing here, kind of, for the for Black filmmaking, it was huge. It was great. It's as I'm saying, like we've had I remember like way back there's like the documentary on like black horror movies. I know this isn't just a black horror movie, but I like that it's kind of like you've seen the evolution of it, and obviously we're at with like the Jordan Peele era of horror, and it's just kind of interesting that we're kind of still, this feels very cinematic, feels like a cinematic send up to kind of like the quality horror that we could get, but applying it to characterization and story and like narrative and just kind of going full tilt with it. And I really like that. And just in general, I like seeing Coogler kind of experiment with genres and stuff like he did here, and I thought this was great, and I just love that he was really on his game in terms of just in terms of like nailing how to make like the best vampire movie possible, and also of course the man knows how, if there's any actor at the end, his De Niro essentially is Michael B. Jordan. He did a phenomenal job directing him here yet again.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I mean, look, I don't think it's the second coming. I thought it was a good movie. There you go.
Fair enough.
I'm curious. Would it have made your top 10 of last year, Dragon?
Wait, are you actually curious, or you just...
No, I'm actually curious. Would it have been in there?
Would it have been in there?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Maybe. I mean, it would not have made the top 5, but maybe. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah. So, no, I mean, I'm definitely like right with y'all as far as like I think this is going to go down as just a modern classic. Obviously, I feel like it's already got the. I mean, I'm sorry, Dreg, but I really do think like for me, it has the prestige of like it's not just the best movie of 2025. It's like it's legitimately like probably one of the better movies of the 2020s. I would be shocked if we get to the end of the decade and this isn't in my top 10 of the 2020s. And I just love how audaciously original it is, man. That's really what it comes down to. I just love how Ryan Coogler, like, he clearly had a vision, and it's not even that this movie is the most original thing in the world, because he does, like, he wears his influences on his sleeve. He fully admits the To Dusk Till Dawn thing. He fully admits the Tarantino influence, and even that the timeline stuff is influenced by Nolan. Like he's all in on that, but it is just the fact that, like, yeah, you can have influences, you can have stuff that is very clearly inspired by other works, but this is just such a clear example of how you can have that stuff and then still come up with something that is wholly original and wholly your own at the same time. And that's just very inspirational as far as storytelling goes for me.
Absolutely.
Alrighty. Well, so we had Little Blue in the comments. He didn't say much. He said, let's see, what a way to start off Black History Month with this masterpiece. And then Dragon, when you specifically critique the I Lied to You thing, he was like, you went there, Dragon. And then he also says, good example with Scary Godmother. So, all right. Anyways, well, all right, folks. That's all. I'm sorry. That's all. Take 2. I'm sorry. I'm fucking. I'm tired. I'm also getting over being sick as well. So, all right. That's all for now, folks. Until next time, when we further educate ourselves and learn the world's not simply black or white, but brimming with color as well as character.
On the next installment of Black History Heroes.
Sammy!